our black people. We are going to show you that, not in this lesson, however, but in the next lesson, we'll deal with color. Today, we are just going to help identify Israel through the scriptures. You know, the Bible, the Lord prophesied that certain things was going to happen to the real Israelites. And what we are going to do, we're going to show you some of the things that the Lord prophesied that would happen to the real Israelites. And this will help you identify who Israel is, because there is a controversy. You know, you got the people that the world acknowledge as being Israel, and then you have people like us who said that we are the real Israelites. So now the Bible, it is a book of morals. We all know that. Everybody know about the do's and the don'ts that the Bible tell you about. But the Bible is also a history book. And the history that it deals with most is the history of the Israelites. So now if you want to get the Israelites straight, then you need to get your information from the Bible. Because once you get into history books, after a certain time, after 70 A.D., I'll say, the Israelites' history is distorted. Make no mistake about it. Because they have you believing one people are the Israelites, when in fact another people are the Israelites. So what we are going to do, before we get into the color, we're not going to even deal with the color today. Before we get into the color, we're going to just show you the things that the Bible prophesied that had to happen to the real Israelites. And what you do is you find out who these prophecies fit, then you have identified who the real Israelites are. What we are going to do is we are going to start in Genesis chapter 25, and we'll begin reading at verse 19. Genesis 25 and verse 19. You know, I use the term Israelites, but most people are familiar with the term Jews. So I'm going to just write this up here from the very beginning. Israel, Jews, they are the same. All Jews are Israelites, people. But all Israelites are not Jews. What do I mean by that? The nation of Israel came out of 12 tribes. And one of the tribes was Judah. The people that came out of the tribe of Judah, they became known as Jews. But they are all the same people. If you are a Jew, you're Israelite. Make no mistake about it. If you are Israelite and out of the tribe of Judah, then you are a Jew. But if you're not out of the tribe of Judah, then you are just an Israelite. But they are all the same people. Because I don't want people to get confused, you know, because people, I find a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that Jews, Israelites are one and the same. They really don't understand that. So I figured I'd just clear that up from the very start. So I may use the term Israelites or I may use the term Jews. Just so you will be clear that I am dealing with the people that the Bible called Israelites. I just wanted to say that so you'll be clear about that, so I don't confuse anybody. If I say Jew instead of Israelite, well, who is he talking about now? He must be talking about different people. No, I'm still talking about the same people. Let's start reading, though, here in Genesis chapter 25, and we'll begin reading at verse 19. Genesis 25, and we'll begin at verse 19. Go ahead and read, brother.
And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Padanaram, the sister of Laban the Syrian.
Go ahead.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Now the woman, she was pregnant. And she was pregnant with twins, and the children, they struggled together within her. Go ahead and read.
And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So now the Lord just let her know there are two different nations that are in your womb, and two different manner of people. Two different nations now. Same mother, same father, but yet they are two different nations, and they are two distinct, different people. There's a distinction, an obvious distinction between these two people here. However, they are brothers. Go ahead and read on.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Go ahead.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Uh-huh.
And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Uh-huh.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Now, we have two brothers here. One name is Esau, and the other name is Jacob. We are going to identify who these nations were that came out of these two boys. Let's go over to Genesis chapter 36, and we'll begin reading at verse 9. Genesis 36, and we'll begin at verse 9. 36 and 9. First, we are going to deal with Esau and his descendants. 36, and we'll pick it up at verse 8. 36 and 8. Okay, go ahead and read.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
Uh-huh.
Esau's Edom.
Now, Esau, he became known as Edom. Go ahead and read on.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir.
Now Esau is the father of the Edomites, and that is the nation that came out of Esau. Because remember, the Lord said 2 different nations and 2 different amount of people would be in her womb. So now the one that came out of Esau was the one that became known as Edom, and his descendants was known as the Edomites. Let's go to Genesis chapter 35, and we'll pick it up at verse 9. And just in case you don't know, they are still around. They are under a different name, but they are still very much in existence. Because the Bible talks about the last days, and it talks about Edom, or the Edomites, even in the last days. So they're around. You just don't hear the term anymore, because now they are under another name. And we're going to show you later in this lesson what name they go by. But now, we understand that one of the nations that came out of her were the Edomites. Let's go to Genesis chapter 35 now, and we'll pick it up at verse 9. 35 and 9. Go ahead and read.
And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padan Aram, and blessed him. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel.
So now God changed Jacob's name from Jacob to Israel, and we are going to find out of him came the Israelites. Let's go over to Genesis chapter 49, and we'll pick it up at verse 1. 49 and 1. You might even wonder, why is it important that we even understand who the Israelites are? What difference does it make? It makes a lot of difference. Because I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If you don't get Israel straight, there's a whole lot of stuff in the Bible. You ain't going to get it right. You just are not going to get it right, because you have Israel start right here in this 35th chapter of Genesis, and the Bible do not stop talking about Israel until you get to the last chapter in the Bible. So now, if you're going to get some understanding of the Word of God, you got to deal with it. You just must deal with Israel. And if you don't get it straight, you're going to mess up some stuff. I guarantee you're going to mess it up. And the reason I know you're going to mess it up, because I see people mess it up all the time because they don't have Israel straight. You know, you got Israel sitting over there in the land right now, and people really believe that is Israel sitting over there. So now when they go and start to deal with end-time prophecy, they mess it up. Because Israel cannot be sitting in the land of Israel until Jesus returned, and we're going to show you that in the Bible. So now them people sitting over there today, they can't be the Israelites. If the Bible is right and the Bible is right, they cannot be the real Israelites. We're going to show you who they are, and we're going to show you even who the real Israelites are as well. Let's start reading, though, now at Genesis chapter 49, and we'll pick it up at verse 1. Genesis 49, and start reading at verse 1. Go ahead and read, brother.
And Jacob called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Now Jacob had 12 sons. And we're going to find out of those 12 sons came 12 tribes that made up the nation of Israel. Go ahead and continue reading.
Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father.
Now I want you to just skip down to verse 28. Go ahead and read.